Welcome back to the Alien Spaceship Talkshow podcast. And in case you're just joining us, you're listening to the Alien Spaceship Talkshow podcast with Emmy Hikins and Trevor Gear.
Suddenly started saying, I think he was 3, that he'd been a soldier in the French army it may have been in the last war, something like that, but that he was killed in this war. And he gave lots of information. And the parents actually tried to follow up on some of this, and they did discover that somebody along the lines of what their son was saying, and he was absolutely adamant he'd been alive before, way beyond his years for what he was adamant, and they felt, that we found something that kind of corroborates that story. So I think there's more to, possibly anyway, deja vu than we might think. And on that point, another question to you: would you say you are open-minded about things like that? Are you open to, actually, there could be, some people may be reincarnated or any other subject? Are you open-minded, or do you just think, no, what I believe, and I will never change my mind?
Yeah, I would say I'm open-minded, but open-minded in a biased way. Slightly. I've just got to be honest with myself. I'm open-minded. I like to listen to things like that when people say it, but then I'm a little bit skeptical. So I would want to really see a definite proof. And I'm not expecting anyone to provide that proof. It's just my skepticism, just trying to block off but I am open-minded. I would not disprove of people having that sort of experience for no reason. I would respect it, and I would listen to it. Actually, I would try to see if there's any substance to it. Let's put it that way. And if there's no substance to it, then I'll have to just say, well, I don't really. There's not much evidence to actually back up what you're saying. But like what you said about this parent and their little child being able to say something about the past, and the parents being able to corroborate it. Plausible, perfectly plausible. Yeah. But I always think there's an explanation for it. There should be an explanation for that phenomenon that's happened. So if somebody said that, there's got to be. You can't just dismiss everything as mystery or mysterious. There's got to be an explanation to it, and that's where I tend to focus on. I tend to focus on a plausible explanation as to why that is happening. But I am open-minded to learning more. I am, I would say.
Yeah. But equally, do you think sometimes there's a benefit in not knowing, that sometimes the mystery should stay there because we're not going to find evidence for one way or the other on a particular subject? As we say, you can't win them all. We like to have proof or evidence of something that enables us to come to a clear decision. But actually, sometimes maybe in a sort of spiritual sense almost, it's quite good that we don't know. It's good that maybe some sort of faith is involved in all sorts of, not just religion, but in all parts of life. We don't know the answers. We don't know why. We don't know how. We don't know when or where. But sometimes that should be enough, just because that's part of being human, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say to people, it's always good to just approach everything with an open-mindedness, but also with a pinch of skepticism. That way, you're not easily taken by any theory that is not established theory. But also, I do, for the scope of this discussion, we won't delve into the other reasons that I think could be a plausible explanation to it. So I will just leave it there. But I think there's an explanation to it. But also, like you said, sometimes it's just good to just to just feign ignorance and just say, well, we're never going to be able to, because there's going to be a lot of opinions that's going to come up, and we can't entertain it all. So yeah.
I know we're getting close to time, so we just to close then. I've mentioned a few books, and I just thought I'd mention one from my Did You Knows. There is a book named as Everything Men Know About a Woman, and it's just 120 blank pages. There's no offence to our women folk. No offence at all.
We love the women.
We love them.
We've got a few on our show, yeah. So this is all we've got time for. We've been watching and listening to the Alien Spaceship by myself, and he calls me Cos.
And me, Trevor Gear, and he calls me bro.
It's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me too.
We're going to take a short break now with Deepstuff Radio. You've been listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show with Trevor Gear and Emmy Hikins.